Emergency Alert System, Marine Hazard Warning. Issued, July 18, 2026, 9:41 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Origin, California Office of Emergency Services, U.S. Coast Guard Sector San Francisco. Hazardous marine conditions, San Francisco Bay and Central Coast. This is an emergency alert for San Francisco, Marin, Alameda, and San Mateo counties. The U.S. Coast Guard, in coordination with local authorities, is reporting unidentified large marine formations detected west of Alcatraz Island and moving toward shore. Details: first visual confirmation made by aerial patrol at approximately 9:18 Pacific Daylight Time. Multiple, stable landmasses now present where no charted land exists. Significant swells reported radiating inland from the positions of the formations. Local ferries, cargo traffic, and private vessels are to be recalled to port immediately. Safety actions: avoid all shoreline activity in San Francisco Bay, the Golden Gate area, and coastal beaches north or south of the bay for at least 5 miles. Mariners, do not attempt to approach these objects. Maintain a minimum distance of 3 nautical miles. Expect rising wave activity and unpredictable currents for the next several hours. Official response: Coast Guard cutters and state emergency craft are en route to monitor the formations. Scientific and military agencies are assessing the phenomenon. No public speculation is available at this time. Follow official broadcast for updates. And a bulletin. Rebroadcast every 15 minutes for coastal counties until further notice. Emergency Alert System, Coastal Impact Warning. Issued, July 18, 2026, 1:12 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Origin, California Office of Emergency Services, U.S. Coast Guard FEMA Region IX. Multiple marine landforms approaching shore, large wave impact imminent. This is an updated emergency bulletin for San Francisco, Marin, Alameda, San Mateo, and Monterey counties. The U.S. Coast Guard and National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration have confirmed that over a dozen uncharted islands resembling Alcatraz Island are now visible moving east toward the California coast. Situation update: the original Alcatraz Island remains stationary in the bay. At least 14 duplicate islands have been visually confirmed west of the Golden Gate. Radar and aerial surveillance indicate the rate of appearance is increasing. New landforms are surfacing approximately every 7 to 9 minutes. The movement of these formations is generating serial large wave events inside the bay and along outer coastal areas. Reports from Ocean Beach, Baker Beach, and Crissy Field indicate wave crests exceeding 12 feet reaching shore, smashing docks and sweeping debris inland. Hazards: repeated coastal flooding along SF Bay and Golden Gate Straits. Currents and undertow capable of sweeping individuals from jetties and waterfronts. Structural damage to piers, ferry terminals, and marinas. Risk of impact from mobile land masses if shoreline contact occurs. Public safety instructions: evacuate low-lying waterfront zones and coastal recreation areas immediately. Stay off all beaches, piers, docks, and shoreline roads. Mariners, withdraw to safe harbor. No return until declared clear. Do not attempt to board or approach any newly formed islands. Official response: Cal-OS, FEMA, NOAA, and the U.S. Navy are conducting joint monitoring. Military authorities advise that the situation is dynamic and unpredictable and further escalation is possible. Additional warnings will follow if coastal landfall by these formations is imminent. And a bulletin. Rebroadcast every 10 minutes in affected counties. Emergency Alert System, Mandatory Evacuation Order. Issued, July 18, 2026, 3:47 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Origin, California Office of Emergency Services U.S. Coast Guard FEMA Region IX U.S. Navy Pacific Command. Coastline impact confirmed, ALCATRAZ landforms reach shore. This is an emergency announcement for San Francisco, Marin, San Mateo, and Alameda counties. At approximately 3:32 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, the first uncharted landmass, identical in structure to Alcatraz Island, made direct contact with the San Francisco waterfront, Pier 45 area, causing catastrophic damage. Multiple additional landforms are projected to make landfall within the next 30 to 60 minutes along the Central Bay and Pacific shoreline. Situation update. Naval observers confirm over 25 mobile landmasses now east of the Golden Gate. The formations are pushing massive displacement waves ahead of them, wave heights now reported at 15 to 18 feet in localized surges. Initial impact at Pier 45 resulted in the destruction of moorings, warehouses, and surrounding structures. Secondary impacts expected at Embarcadero Waterfront, Sausalito Shoreline, Crissy Field Marina District, Alameda Naval Basin. Hazards: severe coastal flooding and debris impact in low-lying neighborhoods. Structural collapse risk near any waterfront facility. Possible additional surges if more landmasses breach shallow waters simultaneously. Mandatory actions, effective immediately. Evacuate all waterfront zones within San Francisco, Sausalito, Tiburon, Oakland, and Alameda. Follow marked evacuation routes to higher ground. Do not use shoreline roads. Public transit is currently suspended in impacted areas. Use designated evacuation shuttles where available. Keep all radios tuned to local emergency frequencies for real-time updates. Official response. California National Guard and U.S. Navy have initiated Operation Seawall to slow further inland movement of the land masses. USGS and NOAA warn that continued replication of these formations is highly likely and that coastline changes may become permanent. Wider-scale evacuation orders may be issued for the entire Bay Area if replication continues at current pace. And a bulletin. Rebroadcast continuously on all stations in affected counties. Emergency Alert System, Bay Area Catastrophic Event Update. Issued, July 18, 2026, 11:42 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Origin, California Office of Emergency Services. FEMA Region IX. USGS. U.S. Navy Pacific Command. Multiplying ALCATRAZ landforms, increased velocity and impact risk. Ongoing monitoring has confirmed that the uncharted land masses resembling Alcatraz Island are now increasing both in quantity and in forward speed toward the California coast and into San Francisco Bay. Current status. Confirmed count. 52 distinct land masses within 15 miles of the Golden Gate, an increase of over 100% in the last 6 hours. Speed change, movement rates have tripled since the afternoon. Formations now estimated at 7-10 knots, 8-11 mph, toward shorelines. Fragmentation events, at least 9 landmasses have split into smaller islet segments, which are also self-propelled and moving independently toward the coast. Impact zones, new projections show rapid encroachment toward Richmond Inner Harbor, Oakland Middle Harbor and port areas, North Beach, Chinatown, and Financial District waterfronts in San Francisco, Angel Island State Park and Tiburon coastline. Hazards. Continuous tidal surges up to 20 feet with almost no lull between impacts. Stability risk to Golden Gate Bridge and Bay Bridge pylons due to undercurrent drag. Expansion of island chain into occupied city blocks as landmasses make sustained contact with shore. Complete submersion of several piers and marina districts already reported. Mandatory actions. All bayfront and low-elevation zones must be evacuated immediately. This includes inland areas previously outside evacuation lines due to new flood maps. Do not attempt to cross Golden Gate, Bay, Richmond San Rafael, or Dumbarton bridges. Structural inspections pending, closures possible within the hour. Civil and commercial vessels are ordered to vacate the bay entirely. Treat any approaching landmass as hazardous terrain. Structures observed on them, including prison buildings, may be unstable or collapse without warning. Official response. U.S. Navy destroyers and Coast Guard cutters attempting physical interception report no effect on forward movement of land masses. NOAA and USGS scientists now warn of possible continual replication with no natural limiting factor. If current conditions persist, the bay could be completely infilled within 36 hours. State officials preparing for wider coastal evacuations extending south toward Half Moon Bay and north toward Point Reyes. This is not a drill. If you can hear this broadcast, move inland into high ground. Do not attempt to remain in coastal cities over.
We return now to our continuing live coverage of the catastrophic events unfolding across the Bay Area. It is just past midnight, and the so-called ALCATRAZ apocalypse is entering a terrifying new stage as entire chains of Alcatraz-like land masses accelerate toward the city. Power outages now affect most of the Embarcadero, North Beach, and large sections of Oakland. Our field team is live with reporter Anna Martinez near Pier 39. Anna, what are you seeing?
Mark, it's chaos. We can see at least 10 of the islands now, each less than a quarter mile from shore. More of them keep appearing every few minutes. Residents are still evacuating, but many streets are underwater. The waves, Mark, they're not just splashing onto the piers, they are throwing vehicles and loose debris into buildings. Now, the islands, I'm watching one break apart. There are slabs of concrete, bars, wreckage. It's barreling right into Bay Street. You can hear screaming from blocks away. Emergency crews are carrying people out on stretchers, but even some police are being swept up in the water. Whole apartment blocks by the marina are losing power with each surge.
We're receiving updates from Cal EAS and the Coast Guard that over 50 of these formations are now confirmed within the bay. Repeat, 50. USGS says nothing can halt their movement, and authorities have warned all residents to reach high ground immediately. We do not know when the waves or new islands will stop.
I just spoke to firefighters. They say there's nothing left to do but run. The Coast Guard tried to intercept the islands, but they moved faster than anything in the water. Social media is full of videos from rooftops and drones. Every image shows another ALCATRAZ pushing further inland.
Stay tuned for official updates. If you have family along the waterfront, please check in and help them evacuate. These are the most severe coastal conditions ever recorded in Bay Area history.
Classified, Level Omega, Eyes Only. Origin, Federal Scientific Analysis. Task Force, ALCATRAZ Incident. Date, July 19th, 2026, 4:12, PDT Distribution, USGS, NOAA, Department of Defense, FEMA Subject, Biological Nature of Alcatraz Island, Entity Designation, Organism A1. Summary of Findings. Test samples recovered covertly from the bedrock beneath the original Alcatraz Island between 5 a.m. to 8:20 a.m. PDT, July 18th. Have been analyzed by NOAA Marine Biology Division and USGS Organic Geology Unit. Conclusion. The formation known as Alcatraz Island is not inert rock. It is a living, composite biological organism of immense scale, exhibiting both mineral and organic structures fully integrated into one mass. Age estimates from isotopic decay rates suggest the organism predates human habitation of the Americas, potentially over 200,000 years in origin. Active status. For centuries, organism A1 exhibited cryptobiosis, an extreme dormant state, mimicking the appearance of geologic land. U.S. government activity in 1957, classified nuclear resonance experiments, may represent first external stimulus, but no observable changes were documented until July 18, 2026, when replication sequences began without clear external trigger. Analysis strongly indicates the entity has awoken from dormancy, initiating programmatic duplication protocol. Reason unknown. Goal inferred. Full replacement. Each mobile landmass is a perfect copy replica unit, genetically identical substrata manifesting identical surface features, including fully functioning copies of all historical surface structures. Micro-scale bioscanners now show the beginnings of organic replication of non-island matter. Dock pilings, buoys, boats found adhered to new island surfaces are being biologically integrated into living tissue. Early tissue samples from the Pier 45 impact zone suggest cellular-level replication of human organic matter is in progress. Projection. If uncontrolled, organism A1 will likely attempt ship of Theseus-level replacement of total coastline, geography, structures, and population. Emergency recommendation. Containment not possible with current technology. All defense efforts must pivot to forced inland relocation of highest density populations. Prevention of contact between human populations and island surface tissue. Risk of biological replication is unacceptable. Denial of maritime travel within 20 miles of replication zones. Note: the original island remains stationary, but is now emitting low-frequency vibrations capable of being picked up across the Bay Area. Correlation suggests these are coordination signals directing the mobile replicas. Attempts to silence or destroy the source risk triggering uncontrolled full copy release. Filed by Dr. Evelyn Stroud, NOAA Division of Macroorganismic Marine Biology Classification. Omega Bio/National Priority.
Emergency Alert System, Civil Danger Warning. Issued, July 19, 2026, 7:56 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Origin, California Office of Emergency Services FEMA Region IX U.S. Department of Defense CDC Biohazard Response Division. Confirmed biological replication, human copies detected. This is a civil danger warning for all residents within San Francisco, Alameda, Marin, San Mateo, Contra Costa counties. Scientific and law enforcement agencies have confirmed that the multiplying ALCATRAZ landmasses are actively replicating organic life, including human beings. Situation update. At 6:41 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, first confirmed human replication event occurred near Marina District, San Francisco. Multiple witnesses reported an individual, identified as a local fire captain, walking ashore from a newly arrived landmass, despite the real captain having been confirmed missing during an earlier evacuation. Medical scans on the duplicate show 100% DNA match, but with anomalous marine biological tissue integration. Additional reports of identical individuals emerging from island surfaces now coming from Sausalito and Treasure Island areas. Hazards replicated individuals display initial speech and behavior consistent with original subjects, but show no recognition of being copies. Contact with island surfaces or marine tissue debris may trigger replication of any organic matter, including living humans and animals. No known method exists to distinguish a human copy from the original without advanced biotesting. Public safety instructions. Avoid all contact with new landmasses, tidal debris, or unidentified persons arriving from coastal waters. Do not approach anyone known to have been lost or missing in flooded zones. Report immediately to law enforcement. Evacuate inland beyond the immediate coastal counties, Long-distance relocation recommended. All roadways leading away from the bay will remain under National Guard control, ID and bioscreening checkpoints active. Official response. CDC field units deploying to Bay Area for quarantine enforcement. Department of Defense escalating to Compline 8888 Bio for biological replication entities. Further alerts to follow if evidence of inland replication emerges beyond the coastline. This is not a drill. Treat all unknown arrivals from the affected coastal zone as a potential biological threat.
United States Government, Department of Homeland Security. Classification: Omega Bio, National Security Priority. Date: July 20th, 2026. From Joint Task Force, ALCATRAZ, USGS/NOAA/DOD/DHS. To President of the United States, National Security Council, FEMA Region. 9 Command. Subject: Designation of the ALCATRAZ Zone. Biological Replication Event, Area 1. Overview. Following the unprecedented proliferation of organism A1, original ALCATRAZ, and its identical mobile substrata, the federal government is establishing a formal containment and hazard zone designation for all affected maritime and terrestrial territory. Effective immediately, all affected and contaminated land, sea, and replicated structures will be referred to as the ALCATRAZ Zone, TAZ, Omega, Biological Containment Area. 2. Boundaries and expansion rate, as of 4 AMPDT, July 20th, 2026. Primary zone radius, approximately 24 nautical miles from the original ALCATRAZ island. Total area, expanding at an average of 2 to 3 square miles per hour. Observed extension points: coastal San Francisco, Sausalito, and Tiburon, Oakland Inner Harbor, Alameda Island. Subzones established where island tissue has integrated with mainland infrastructure, streets, piers, buildings, and begun replication of organic and inorganic material. 3. Biological nature and hazards. All land within the ALCATRAZ zone is living tissue bound with mineral deposits capable of absorbing and replicating foreign material at both macro and micro scales. Complete structural cloning of buildings, vessels, vehicles, and living beings confirmed. Replicated entities are visibly and biologically indistinguishable from originals without advanced analysis. Zone tissue samples exhibit hostile resistance to destruction. Thermal, kinetic, and explosives yield minimal effect. 4th, replication. Objectives: scientific consensus indicates organism. A1 is executing a total environment replacement protocol, consistent with the Ship of Theseus conceptual model. Incremental duplication of geography, structures, flora, fauna, human population. End state projection. Complete coastal environment composed entirely of living replica tissue integrated into a single bioarchitectural organism. 5th, response and containment measures. Establish quarantine line at zone boundary plus 15 miles inland. Enforce no contact rule. No civilian, military, or research personnel to enter zone without Omega Bio clearance. Implement identity verification and biological screening checkpoints for all evacuees from within 30 miles of the zone. Authorize Operation Firebreak. Demolition of key bridge and tunnel access points into affected urban areas to delay inland spread. Deploy long-range observation via satellite and UAV. Direct personnel entry into the zone considered suicidal at current expansion rates. 6. Long-term outlook models indicate, without neutralization of organism, A1's primary original island core, the ALCATRAZ zone will contact Point Reyes to the north and Half Moon Bay to the south within 96 hours, assimilating all intervening coastline and up to 700,000 residents. Termination of A1 deemed highly speculative and potentially accelerative. Destruction risk includes uncontrolled, accelerated replication into global waters. Signed, Dr. Evelyn Stroud, NOAA Division of Macroorganismic Marine Biology. Rear Admiral Caleb H. Stanton, U.S. Coast Guard Pacific Area Command. Lieutenant General Marcus J. Feller, Joint Task Force, ALCATRAZ Commanding Officer. Classification: Top Secret. Do not distribute outside cleared networks.
Emergency Alert System, Final Warning Abandonment Notice. Issued, July 21, 2026, 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Origin, California Office of Emergency Services FEMA Region IX U.S. Department of Homeland Security Department of Defense. Subject, loss of access to the ALCATRAZ zone, all operations ceased. This is an emergency announcement for all coastal counties surrounding San Francisco Bay and adjacent inland areas. Effective immediately, all civilian and governmental presence inside the ALCATRAZ zone is terminated. The U.S. government has declared the zone an irrecoverable biological hazard and will no longer deploy rescue, recovery, or observation teams within its boundaries. Current situation. As of 1740 Pacific Daylight Time, all access routes into San Francisco, Oakland, Alameda, and Sausalito are severed or blocked by advancing landmass tissue. All remaining field teams have withdrawn following multiple confirmed human and structural replication incidents within minutes of contact. The rate of zone expansion now exceeds 4 square miles per hour, with no safe staging areas remaining. Communications with several shelters and command posts inside the zone have ceased. Cause unknown. Impact: if you are currently inside the ALCATRAZ zone, you are beyond the reach of evacuation forces. No physical extraction is planned. Continued replication of geography, infrastructure, and living organisms is considered certain within the zone's interior. All persons exiting the zone perimeter will be treated as potential duplicates and subject to indefinite quarantine or termination. Last directive to remaining civilians: seek the highest accessible ground, as inland spread may be slowed by elevation. Avoid all contact with newly formed land, surfaces, debris, or unfamiliar persons. Attempt outbound communication via any functioning device, but be advised, no return response should be expected. Treat all noise or vibration through the ground as an immediate warning of replication activity nearby. Government position: we cannot save you. The organism controls the territory now known as the ALCATRAZ zone. If you escape on your own, you will be met at the perimeter, but no one will be sent inside. May God have mercy on those who remain. End of broadcast. This message will loop on all zone-adjacent frequencies for the next 48 hours.